Did you know that the average person spends nearly 6 hours a day consuming content, whether it's books, TV, or social media? Yet, most of us can't remember a thing from the books we read last month. What makes a book unforgettable? Why do some stories keep readers awake, glued to the pages until 2 a.m., while others are forgotten the moment the cover is closed? It all comes down to one thing: storytelling mastery. It's not just about having a good plot, it's about how you tell it. The best storytellers know the secret techniques that keep readers hooked, turning pages long into the night. In this guide, we'll explore 6 shocking strategies that make readers desperate for more. From using mind-bending twists to creating a rollercoaster of emotions, we'll show you how to keep your audience on the edge of their seat. You'll discover how to craft unforgettable characters, build tension, and tap into the brain's natural craving for suspense. These techniques aren't just for the bestsellers, they're for anyone ready to elevate their storytelling game and leave readers begging for the next chapter. Are you ready to unlock the secrets behind those stories you can't put down? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Twist Your Mind Effect. Subverting expectations. Like a pro to become a great storyteller, you must master the art of subverting expectations. Imagine reading a book and thinking you know where it's going, only to have everything flip upside down in an instant. That feeling of surprise keeps readers hooked. The secret? Subtle foreshadowing that doesn't give it all away, but still lets the twist feel satisfying. Take Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, for example. It starts off one way and takes a sharp turn that shocks readers, but it doesn't feel forced. It's all about laying the groundwork for something unexpected. The best twists don't just surprise, they make readers rethink everything they've read. This is why it's crucial to drop tiny, almost invisible hints early on. Think about The Sixth Sense. The film doesn't just surprise at the end, it forces you to look back and realize how well everything fit together. This approach works in storytelling because our brains love patterns, and when we spot an unexpected one, our minds can't help but keep reading. But here's a cool fact: studies show that unexpected events in stories activate the brain's reward system. A good twist can actually trigger dopamine, the same chemical released when we experience pleasure or joy. That's why great twists don't just leave readers surprised, they leave them craving more. So, when writing your own stories, think about those moments that feel like they're going one way, but then snap in a completely different direction. Twisting expectations doesn't mean throwing in random surprises. You can't just add a twist for shock value. It must make sense within the story and tie back to themes, characters, or details you've already set up. This builds trust with the reader. For example, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins masterfully uses unreliable narrators to create twists that feel both natural and unnerving. It's about teasing just enough of the truth to make the twist feel earned. In short, the twist your mind effect isn't about tricking your reader. It's about keeping them on their toes by bending their expectations in an exciting and unexpected way. Chapter 2: The 3 a.m. Cliffhanger. Crafting endings that beg for more. One of the simplest ways to get readers to stay up until 2 a.m. is with cliffhangers that force them to keep going. Picture this: you're reading a book, and the chapter ends with a character in danger or a big secret about to be revealed. You just can't stop reading. That's the magic of a well-crafted cliffhanger. It's about leaving your readers on the edge of their seats, desperate for answers. According to a 2018 study by the University of California, suspense is one of the most addictive emotions in storytelling. It's a feeling that taps into our deepest instincts, the desire for resolution and closure. Cliffhangers play into this need. They make the reader feel like they've just discovered something important, but then they have to keep going to find out what happens next. It's psychological, and it works. Think about how Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire ends. After the Triwizard Tournament, Harry faces life-threatening consequences, and just before things go from bad to worse, the book ends. The reader is hooked, and that's how you should structure your chapters, with just enough tension to push the reader into the next one. Leave them wondering, what's going to happen next? The trick to a good cliffhanger is ensuring the suspense doesn't feel cheap. The key is emotional investment. When readers care about the characters, they'll keep reading to see if their favorite character survives, gets the girl, or uncovers the truth. Creating emotional tension is crucial. Without it, your cliffhanger will fall flat. The Hunger Games series does this exceptionally well, leaving readers with cliffhangers that make them want to know what happens next. And here's a shocking fact. A study from the University of Toronto revealed that readers are more likely to recall a book's cliffhanger ending than any other part of the story. The emotional impact of the cliffhanger lingers far beyond the page. To create the perfect cliffhanger, leave questions unanswered, but make sure they're compelling. What happens next should be something the reader can't wait to find out. And when they turn that next page, they should feel rewarded for taking that leap into the unknown. Chapter 3, Emotional Rollercoaster, pulling readers through unpredictable highs and lows. The secret to keeping readers up until 2 a.m. isn't just about twists and cliffhangers. It's about crafting an emotional journey that keeps readers feeling something new with every turn of the page. When you build emotional highs and lows, you keep readers engaged, whether it's joy, heartbreak, or fear. Take The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. It's not just a fantastical tale, it's a whirlwind of emotions that pulls readers through moments of awe, love, and tension. By balancing slow-building tension with moments of triumph, the story feels like a ride, a thrilling journey that demands attention. That's the key to creating a story that readers can't put down. When emotions are unpredictable, readers stay on their toes. It's no surprise that readers' brains are wired to seek emotional highs and lows. Research shows that humans are more likely to remember emotional experiences because they leave a stronger imprint on the brain. A story that mixes joy, sadness, surprise, and fear forces readers to connect emotionally, making them stay up late to see what comes next. Now, here's the interesting part. When you throw in unexpected emotional turns, you're tapping into a deeper psychological effect. The brain's dopamine release is more intense when emotions are unpredictable. This keeps readers coming back for more because they're not just invested in the plot, they're addicted to the emotional ride. Just like how people can't look away from a roller coaster, readers are pulled into your story's emotional twists. However, the emotional roller coaster works best when you balance the highs and lows carefully. Too many intense moments in a row can overwhelm your reader, while too many quiet moments can cause them to lose interest. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green handles this beautifully. Every emotional high is followed by a devastating low, keeping readers hooked with anticipation. In the end, the key to pulling readers through an emotional rollercoaster is pacing. When you master the art of balancing emotional peaks and valleys, you create a story that's nearly impossible to put down. Every chapter should feel like a new ride, one that readers can't wait to hop on. If you're finding these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe for more insights into storytelling that'll take your writing to the next level. Chapter 4, The Power of Unseen Forces, creating a sense of dread and mystery. Great storytelling isn't just about what the reader can see. It's about what's hidden just beyond their reach, the unseen forces that make a story feel mysterious and gripping. Think of The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. The house itself isn't just a setting, it's an almost living entity that shapes the characters' experiences. This sense of dread and mystery is what keeps readers glued to the page. The best stories leave things unsaid, letting the reader's imagination do the work. It's the unknown that scares us most. According to psychological research, humans are wired to fear the unknown more than any tangible threat. This is why stories that hint at something dark or dangerous lurking in the background are so effective. It's like the feeling of walking into a room that feels off, without any clear reason why. The trick is to plant these unseen forces early and allow them to grow in the reader's mind. In Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane, the atmosphere is drenched in mystery from the first page. The reader isn't sure what's real or imagined, and that constant uncertainty builds tension throughout the story. When done right, the unseen forces become a character themselves, just as powerful and haunting as the people in the story. One effective technique is creating an unreliable narrator. This gives readers a sense that they can't trust what they're being told, which ramps up the suspense. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn does this masterfully, keeping readers guessing whether the main character is telling the truth or hiding something sinister. Every chapter feels like a new twist, all because of the hidden truths lurking beneath the surface. Research shows that suspense and mystery are often more powerful than outright horror. A study by the University of Southern California found that suspenseful narratives engage more of the brain's attention centers, leaving readers more immersed in the story. This makes them more likely to keep turning pages, eager to uncover what's lurking in the dark. To tap into this power, focus on creating gaps in the story, questions that readers need to answer but aren't immediately able to. The answers should be revealed slowly, allowing the mystery to unfold naturally. When the truth finally comes to light, the reader should feel both relieved and surprised. Chapter 5, The Page Turner, Dialogue. How to write conversations that stick. Dialogue is one of the most underrated tools in storytelling. It's not just about what characters say, it's about how they say it and what's left unsaid. Good dialogue has power. It makes readers feel like they're in the room with the characters. Think of The Godfather by Mario Puzo. The conversations between characters are sharp, memorable, and dripping with tension. They're not just talking, they're sparking conflict, revealing secrets, and driving the plot forward. What makes dialogue so compelling is the tension that builds up when characters interact. It's the subtle push and pull, the silent power struggles between them, that keeps the reader hooked. The Girl on the Train uses this brilliantly. The main character's conversations feel filled with subtext. The reader can feel the weight of what's being said, and, more importantly, what's not being said. One thing many successful writers do is make their dialogue matter. Every exchange between characters should serve the plot, character development, or the theme of the story. If a conversation doesn't add to the story, it can feel like filler. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger does this by making Holden Caulfield's conversations feel raw and real. They reveal his inner turmoil and give readers a deeper understanding of his character, all while pushing the story forward. In fact, good dialogue isn't about using fancy words or complex sentences. It's about keeping things natural and authentic. Studies show that people respond more to dialogue that sounds like how they speak in real life. Short sentences, interruptions, and moments of awkward silence can add a lot of realism to your conversations. Another tip for making dialogue stick is to make each character's voice distinct. In To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, each character speaks in a way that reflects their background, personality, and role in the story. This creates a rich tapestry of voices that feels authentic and adds depth to the story. One powerful way to hook readers with dialogue is through mystery. A character can say something cryptic or make a promise that raises more questions than it answers. This leaves readers eager to find out what happens next. The suspense in dialogue doesn't always have to come from what's being said. It can come from what's left unspoken. In short, writing dialogue that grabs attention is about making it feel real, purposeful, and loaded with subtext. If done right, it will pull readers in and make them want to keep reading to see how the conversations unfold. If you're enjoying these storytelling tips, don't forget to subscribe for more expert advice on writing that grabs your readers and keeps them hooked. Chapter 6. Unlocking Reader Addiction, the neuroscience of keeping eyes glued to the page. If you want to keep readers up until 2 a.m., you need to understand one thing: stories are addictive. And it's not just because of the plot twists or cliffhangers. It's because of the way storytelling activates the brain. The same neural pathways that respond to pleasure and reward are also triggered when readers are immersed in a gripping story. A study published by the New York Times found that when people read stories that engage their emotions, the brain's reward center is activated. This makes the reading experience feel pleasurable, even when the content is tense or suspenseful. The more emotionally connected a reader is, the more likely they are to stay up late to find out what happens next. One of the most addictive elements of a story is the sense of uncertainty. Research by the University of California found that when people are unsure about an outcome, their brains experience heightened levels of dopamine. This neurotransmitter is the same one involved in addiction and reward. So, when you create a story that keeps the reader guessing, you're actually tapping into the brain's reward system. The reader addiction effect also has a lot to do with pacing. A study in the Journal of Neuroscience found that when people read stories with fast-paced action, their brains release more dopamine than when they read slower-paced material. This is why you need to vary the pace of your story, building up to high-energy moments and then pulling back to create contrast. Moreover, keeping your readers emotionally invested is key. If readers care about the characters, they'll push through any tension or difficulty in the plot to find out what happens next. A story that pulls at the heartstrings will have readers eagerly flipping the pages, unable to stop. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green exemplifies this perfectly. The emotional connection between the characters and readers is what drives the narrative forward, keeping readers addicted to the story. In the end, storytelling isn't just about captivating plot or rich characters. It's about understanding the science behind why people get hooked. By tapping into the emotional and psychological triggers that make stories addictive, you can create narratives that keep readers glued to the page, unable to put the book down. By combining these strategies, twisting expectations, crafting compelling cliffhangers, creating emotional depth, building mystery, writing sharp dialogue, and tapping into the brain's reward system, you can keep readers up until the early hours of the morning, hungry for more.